This is Team Underscore's end of semester final presentation for the AudioT corporate website project.
Our client is AudioT, headed by CEO Tom Barbeau. So AudioT's message is to help farmers by providing them with tools to monitor their chickens' welfare. Competitors such as Pondus and MTech Systems utilize costly camera-based solutions to monitor welfare. AudioT sets itself apart by utilizing machine learning algorithms on audio data that's much more cost-effective. This helps farmers report their animals' welfare to integrators for much cheaper. But why does AudioT care? Because 2 billion humans are expected to populate the planet over the next 30 years, and food suppliers need to match their demand. Poultry is key as it's much more energy efficient compared to other traditional meat sources such as beef and pork. Integrators like Tyson are contracting farmers based to meet this anticipated demand. But their strict regulations are inducing pressure on contract growers to meet their strict welfare requirements. So what problem are we trying to solve for AudioT? Well, AudioT has spent almost a decade on research, and they're ready to enter the market. Unfortunately, their current website is insufficient at communicating their message. Our solution is to create a new corporate website that presents AudioT's message to key stakeholders in a much more engaging way. Our first group of stakeholders is integrators and contract growers. They're primary members of the supply chain that want to see how the technology improves their chicken houses. The next group is consumers. They have a strong interest in animal welfare, and they want to be sure that their food sources are quality. The last group is funding entities. This includes research partners, NGOs, and ag-tech investors. They're interested in the marketability and return on investment in future solutions. We had the opportunity to interview a contract grower and an ag-tech startup consultant for our primary research. We chose to interview because we thought it would provide a more nuanced view of different parts of the supply chain. The contract grower stated that he wanted to feel like he was being addressed directly by companies, and that it would be helpful if he had a visual aid to better understand AudioT's message on the website. The consultant said that investors are often looking for high transparency and high return on investment in future welfare solutions. For secondary research, we utilize online resources to fill in our knowledge on consumers. We found that interest in animal welfare is a recent trend, and that consumers often buy from companies that they believe match their stances on animal welfare.
The vision for this project is to improve the previous website by updating the UI and telling a story about AudioT and its mission to the different stakeholders, while also allowing users to get updates and contact AudioT directly. For the main features of the website, we want to show demonstrations and information regarding prices, product data, and benefits to address the needs of the contract grower. To address the needs of the consumer and the ag-tech industry, we want to provide evidence of welfare and the potential of the product. Along with these features, we want to include a news page, contact page, and an admin portal.
In order to make the main features of the website work as smoothly as possible, there will be a number of other features that we plan to implement as a part of this project. As we're building a website for AudioT, we will need it to be available at all times, other than brief maintenance periods. The site should be available to use on any major browser, and it will be very important to ensure portability on mobile devices. Our tech stack will need a variety of features to ensure compatibility between services. To enable our system architecture, we will need a database API for CRUD operations and a fetch API to link our front-end and back-end systems. The database should maintain copies of the data to ensure that it is not lost when mistakes are made. We plan to implement a serverless back-end, so backup servers shouldn't be necessary for the website. For development and maintenance, we plan to use GitHub to store the website's source code. This will allow us to work on features individually for testing, and a GitHub organization would make it simple for new collaborators to join the project when the website is online and needs to be maintained. To optimize the website's performance, CRUD operations should occur within 1 second on average. This will be most critical for read operations, as the loading time for some pages will be dependent on them. However, create, update, and delete functions are also extremely important to optimize as the website scales up to accommodate for more users. We plan to use free technologies with limited bandwidth for the website, and having inefficient CRUD operations will cause the website to scale too slowly and exceed the limits of the free versions of the software, which would force extra costs. Security will also need to be factored into the website's design. Administrative login information will need to be encrypted via environment variables.
So for our design pattern and system architecture, we decided on a 3-tier architectural pattern. This includes a client-side UI layer, an interactive application layer, and a data layer that will handle our admin info. In addition to this, we decided on a serverless architecture, which will allow for our service space to scale based on the demand. This also allows for us to avoid paying unnecessary fees for unneeded space. And based on our patterns and architectures that we decided on, we were able to create a tech stack that best fits our needs. For our front end, we'll be using React, so it has a wide adoption, easy scalability, and is open source. In addition to that, our back end will be Next.js, since it has React's front end built in. It also is easy to deploy and is serverless like we previously planned. Our database will be FaunaDB, since it uses NoSQL and is easy to integrate in a serverless environment, and it also has built-in authentication. Lastly and most importantly, these technologies work well together and are compatible.
So now we're going to be walking through a simple demo of an admin dashboard highlighting how all the technologies we chose work together. Okay, so here we are on the main page for AudioT. Right now it only has some links to other pages, and the main highlight's going to be the actual admin page. So when an admin is trying to log in, or when they're just trying to go to their dashboard, they'll go to the dashboard and they'll be redirected to log in if they're actually not authenticated. So then they will enter their username and password. And these passwords these passwords are salted and hashed in our database as well. So when the actual administrator logs in, they're sent a JSON web token from our server. And whenever they try to access any protected data, such as website analytics, that token will be sent to our server and verified before they're actually able to receive that data. So when they get onto the dashboard page, they're presented with a graph showing the different page views for that day. And if they change to a different date, they will see the page views from that date as well. So now we can actually try simulating a real user going onto the page and clicking on different links and seeing how our analytics updates. So when a user comes onto the main page, they have the main page in front of them, and if we come back to the analytics and we hit update, you'll see that the home page, when we go back to analytics and we actually go to the correct date, you'll see that the home page gets an extra view, so now it goes to 9 views. And we can actually try this with other pages as well. So if we come back to our user, and we go to the About Us page and the Our Mission page, and then we come back to the admin dashboard and hit update, you will see that the About Us and the Our Mission pages go up in an additional view as well. Finally, the website is also compatible with smaller screens, so if we were to reduce the screen size, you would see that our menu would collapse and we would have this hamburger menu appear, which then they could click on, and that would actually show the same menu as before. So finally, lessons learned from the semester. First, the importance of animal welfare and AudioT's role, especially as animal welfare becomes a more and more important matter in the future. The poultry industry is only going to continue growing, and AudioT is providing a solution to effectively monitor animal welfare at a much lower cost than their competitors. Secondly, we were able to tailor the key content on our website for different stakeholders. We learned how to organize our website so that ag tech investors, consumers, integrators, and contract growers could all find places on the website to get the information they needed. And finally, we were able to learn about different web technologies and figure out a web stack that would actually work to provide a website that AudioT needs.